I'm pretty excited to show you the new block of the month from Urban Elements. It's called Winter Wonderland. I'm especially excited because it's so gloomy today here in the studio. One of the cool things about the block of the month are a couple things. All of the pieces are laser cut, which means they're very precise. I always think that because they're laser cut, it gives you a crisper edge because the laser almost sears the edge of the fabric. Maybe that's not true, I don't know. The second thing is that they're all already pre-fused with Steam-A-Seam 2. So all of the boring work is already done on these. You get all of the fabric that you see in the image up front is already prepared for you. And what I've done, I have my Teflon pressing sheet over top of the pattern. The pattern comes for placement of the pieces, but also if you wanted to reproduce the pattern later with your own fabric, you really could do that by tracing out these elements. Sometimes I even save the little pieces of paper that peel off of the back and just trace around those if you're so inclined. The nice thing about the Teflon pressing sheet is you can go ahead and place some of these components together and get them ready to transfer onto your fabric. The pressing sheet allows you to see through to the pattern beneath. The pieces all come with a paper backing on it, and most of these pieces I've already peeled the paper off just to save some time. But you can see that the paper peels off really easily on there and makes it easy for removal. If for some reason you have a piece that's really stubborn, what we recommend is scoring it with a seam ripper or a needle, and that gives you something to go ahead and peel back. So now that I have all of my components separated from their paper backing and the placement kind of the way I like it, I'm going to slide my Teflon pressing sheet out of the way and go ahead and move my piece of fabric over. Now the block of the month does not come with the background fabric. That's one area where you can personalize your project. And as you can see, I made a tiny little cutting error, but I'm going to fix that later. The fabric also allows you to see the placement of the pattern pieces through there. So all you have to do is get these positioned on where you want them according to the pattern piece. The Steam-A-Seam 2 is tacky on the back after you peel that paper off. And what that does is allow you to position or reposition a piece until you get it where you like it. So that's another nice feature. The wind blew in here, it would not blow my pieces off. There, I finally got that one on. Here's the top. Now I don't know if you want to say this is hot cocoa, or it could be hot chocolate, it could be coffee. For me it would probably be hot tea because I'm a tea drinker. But I'm just going to continue placing my pieces on, and I've already done some of the component pieces. I went ahead and placed the bird wing on the bird body while I had it on the pressing sheet. I also happen to like the pieces light to dark when they're layered. Sometimes you have the option of that, sometimes you don't, because the shading on the batik fabric is going to have slightly different variations for each piece. I like that. But you can see just how easily this goes together. This is one of the fastest block of the months that you'll ever see. I have my little bird beak here. I want to go ahead and get the edge of the beak underneath his body just to help keep him down. And another thing to look at, especially when you're doing the little eyeball on the eyes, where you place that little eyeball really gives you a great deal of expression to your bird. Depending on what you want him to look like, he can look like he's inquisitive or a little bit crazy, but I think that's cute, those little expressions that you can get. with the placement of the little center pupil. Now we don't fuse or top stitch any of our pieces. Now you're welcome to do that if you like, but if you properly fuse the steam-a-seam at the beginning, these pieces are permanent, and we quilt over them at Urban Elements, but we don't top stitch. But if you like to top stitch, that's totally up to you. This is the kind of thing that I love to do, especially for a holiday project. I would not want to spend 6 months with one block if I had a lot of things to do, when you're only going to hang it for a couple weeks to a month at the house. So I love the fusible applique for this, because it makes holiday projects more user-friendly, and you can actually get things accomplished. Now, as you can see, in that short amount of time, I already have all of my pieces in place and ready to fuse. Now you could go ahead and look around to make sure that there isn't anything that you don't like, but I'm pretty happy with the way things are on here. Let's see, I might move his leg just a little bit down because it's not matching the other one. But you can see how you can reposition these pieces all the way up until the moment that you fuse it. Once you fuse it, then this is permanent. And there we go. So now I'm completely happy with the placement on this. What I'm going to do is take my Teflon pressing sheet and lay that over top and give this a nice little pressing. But because this is steam-a-seam, this will require that we actually use some steam. So I'm going to move my paper pattern out of the way and actually get some steam going on here. Now you have to read the instructions on a fusible when you use it, but this has to fuse all the way through. The adhesive has to warm up, and it does have to have steam in it. The steam does activate the steam-a-seam too, so the steam is required for this. If you find that later you're quilting or top stitching on fusible web and you're getting a lot of gumminess on the needle, that's an indicator to you that you have not fused properly at this stage. If you fuse it properly, you won't get a lot of gumming up on your needle. You might get a tiny bit, but you shouldn't get a lot. Another thing I like to do when you have pieces that have multiple layers there, I like to flip that over and fuse it again from the back side. I'm also in love with my background fabric. I love snowflakes. I love Christmas. So I'm really happy with this fabric and with this block. And just that quick, I'm going to go over it. I might go over this a little bit more after I end the video. But just this quick, we have the first block of the month for the Winter Wonderland program. This is available on the website now, and we're really excited about it. This is only one of 4 different block of the months that we have running right now for 2020. But it's available on our website, and we hope you enjoy it. Thank you.